I decided that if Nintendo doesn't care, neither do I. And I'm being totally serious. I watched the direct. I was like really disappointed. So then I went and shaved my head like the teenage boy I am deep down inside. I just got really frustrated. I said, okay, I'm going to go shave it. That's what happened. I'm going to wear a hat for the rest of the video. But I shaved my head. And Nintendo's partly to blame. I was probably going to cut my hair anyways, like rather short. But I was legitimately frustrated by this direct because I and a lot of other people expected so much more. This video is going to be all over the place. It's just going to be my thoughts on the direct plus some Zelda talk because, you know, Zelda T-O-K. Awesome. All right. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like the video, all that good stuff. Man, the main problem with this direct was the pacing. It was completely off. It was by far the worst paced direct that I have ever seen. They started off with Fire Emblem, which looked cool or whatever, but I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan. So you can give me your opinions in the comments. These are mine. Fire Emblem, not for me. And I'm only gonna talk about Nintendo stuff because some cool third-party stuff was announced that would be great if I hadn't already played it elsewhere. Cool. Fire Emblem. We have a Kirby remake of what appears to be the Wii game. I've never even played that game. A lot of Kirby on Switch this year. We had Forgotten Kingdom, which I love, one of my favorite games of the year. We had Dream Buffet, which is, you know, cool for what it is. And, you know, this isn't dropping this year, but hey, another Kirby game. Kirby getting a lot of love from the big end lately. Kudos to my favorite pink ball. We got a name for The Legend of Zelda. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is not a name that anyone expected, and that's cool. I like unexpected stuff. That's what I was hoping for. But sadly, there were a few things that we were told were maybe coming, and then they weren't there. So I was, you know, disappointed, right? I expected a Metroid remake. I really want to play Metroid Prime again, and I could go emulate it or whatever, but I'm waiting for a Switch version because I feel like that would be a better way to play it. But I don't know what's going on with that. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, absent, not there. Pikmin 4. I want to talk about Pikmin 4 for a second. I feel like me and a lot of other people will criticize companies when they announce a game but show no gameplay. And that's what happened here with Pikmin. Was it great that Shigeru Miyamoto was there to tell us about it wearing a cool Pikmin shirt? Yeah, like that's awesome. That guy's a legend. I was in the same room as him once. He's a legend. But no gameplay was shown. He says it's coming next year, but the last time we saw a game with a logo only was Metroid Prime 4. And that game still isn't out. And that was like 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. Now, of course, Prime 4 has had a very tumultuous development cycle. I don't feel like that's what's going on here. Although Pikmin 4 was supposedly almost done years ago too. So who knows? Maybe they are more similar than we like to think. But the fact that we have no date for Pikmin 4, no gameplay shown for Pikmin 4, a Kirby Wii port, a Fire Emblem game I'm not gonna play, Octopath Traveler cool, which is cool. I liked the first game. I liked it. But those games are too long. And as I keep getting older, I was gonna say as my hair is turning gray. I mean, you can see gray on my beard, I guess, but the gray in my hair you can't see anymore because I shaved it all off. I don't have the patience so much. So I don't know if I'm gonna play Octopath Traveler 2. I don't know if I'm gonna play Fire Emblem. If I do, it'll be one and not the other. I don't have time for 2 huge JRPGs back to back like that. And the smallest glimpse of Zelda ever. We saw such tiny bits of gameplay. And I have to wonder, and I'm going to say this, and I said it to Zach already, that date is weird. Zelda being a May game is strange. Everyone expected either March or a full delay up until holiday of next year. Could this mean that hardware is imminent? I know people are generally tired of the whole Switch Pro stuff, but I can't really think of another reason why a May date is happening like that. I don't know. Could we get new hardware in March and then Zelda's in May? Maybe. That's just something I want to throw out there. As far as the name, Zach told me that it's like very anime-ish. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. That sounds like a Studio Ghibli movie. Like, sure. Yeah, it sounds anime-ish, but the game looks awesome. I do wonder if it would have been maybe better to have a completely different art style. I don't know that I like that it has the same art style as Breath of the Wild. There's clearly some connections there. This is probably a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. That's what every indication has given us, like that this ties in directly to Breath of the Wild. I expected the name to be more similar than it is, but I don't mind it. Like, who even cares what the name is? We saw 7 teardrop things in the stone when they were like beginning to tease the game. Could that mean that there's gonna be like 7 major dungeons, 7 things we need to go collect? I hope dungeons are back in a big way. That's my biggest hope for this Zelda. Aside from that, obviously, Zelda's still my favorite franchise of all time. I don't foresee that ever changing. But to me, Zelda alone wasn't enough to save this direct. We had way too many, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. I'm only speaking from my American Texan point of view, from Gabe. This is just Gabe. I don't care about all these Japanese harvesting games. There was like 5 games where you harvest stuff, including Harvestella, which is, I don't know, getting a demo today or something. Way too much of that. I love JRPGs. Well, let me rephrase that. I used to love JRPGs. They hold a special place in my heart. When one looks unique and good, I'm there. I was there for Octopath Traveler the first time because it looked unique. It looked different. Since then, we've got, a couple more 2D, 3D games. So the novelty of the amazing art style has been worn off. The novelty of these 8 paths leading on to some interconnected story of some kind, that's a worn off for me. So as much as I love Zelda, and as awesome, I wasn't even sure that we're gonna get a name and a date. We got a name, we got a date. That's big. That's big. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that a quarter of the way through the show, I was like, what the F is this? Halfway through the show, what the F is this? I sent a text to Zach. I said, is this the worst direct we have ever seen? Because it was just bummer after bummer after bummer. The pacing was off. I don't know, man. Maybe they reshuffled things a little bit. It Takes Two is a great game that's coming. Resident Evil Village, great game that's coming as a cloud version. A whole bunch of Resident Evil cloud stuff. I'm sure some of the smaller games that we saw will be quality, but there was just no excitement in any of it. I don't play Animal Crossing. I'm sure as hell not gonna go harvest stuff in a random other game about harvesting stuff. For me, I feel like this had more misses than hits. Sorry, my head's so itchy. I literally just got back from shaving this thing. Way more misses than hits, and that's unfortunate. Now, is the Kirby game gonna be fun? Probably. I don't believe I ever even played that Kirby game, so to me it'll be new. That could be cool, but it's still just a port. And I feel if we're gonna criticize other companies for doing certain things, we gotta criticize Nintendo for the same things, trying to keep it a level playing field. Nothing new announced for this year. We keep hearing that this Metroid thing is happening, man. What's happening with Metroid? Seriously. I'm dumbfounded. I want to play Prime again. At this point, I don't care if Prime is $60 and it's only Prime. Just give it to us. Supposedly that game's been done for a long time. A lot of these leakers and insiders seem to have got a lot wrong this time. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're talking about. I'm not saying that they don't have sources. I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm not saying any of that. I feel like a lot of them do have good sources. Something happened along the way because it seemed like it was going to be Metroid time and nothing. Like that for me is the biggest bummer. Here's the other thing I said to a friend of mine. I said, if they show Pikmin 4 gameplay, because they didn't show the gameplay, but if they did, and the Kirby port gets replaced with a Metroid port, then we're golden. New Fire Emblem, Zelda stuff, a Metroid port finally, the port we've all been waiting for a long time, and Pikmin 4 gameplay. But the fact that they didn't show Pikmin 4 gameplay, oh man, that almost brought it down to full letter grade. It would have been maybe like a solid B, but instead it's like a C minus, maybe a D. A lot of Japanese stuff, and that's great for that audience. Clearly it's a major audience. Splatoon 3 just completely dominated over there. 3.5 million copies in 3 days. That's great. It'll sell 5 by the time the week's over. But overall, this direct left me without hair and utterly disappointed. I'm happy that we have a name for Zelda, so we can stop calling it BOTW2. It's gonna take some adjustment time to start calling it TOK, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm down with the name. It's not my favorite name, but the game still looks like it's gonna be stellar. And hey, there you go. Those are my scatterbrained thoughts about the direct. I started the video without a hat. I'll end it without a hat. Special thank you to members. You guys are amazing, legend level members. Especially you guys keep the channel going. we've grown a whole bunch in the last month or so here on the channel. So I hope that you enjoy what I've been doing, because I enjoy you. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. All right, signing off. Bye. See you later.